And so to get back to your question of looking at stuff, Rodney King. And I called Ralph in from Europe. I said, man, I just need you to check something. I didn't see nothing behind it. I said, I got a problem with two white folks, first time they ever been into America, and they just happened to check in the hotel where this beating's taking place. So 3 days later, he called me and said, we need to get out of here. I said, you know, it was two other people in the car with him. I said, yeah. He said, they died mysteriously. And he said the weird part about it, Rodney King had been sentenced by a judge in L.A. to 8 years in jail, and we can't figure out why he was out in the street 3 weeks later. I said, let's move. Let's move. And then I started seeing, we checked the two people. They're from Australia, heavily connected to the secret police in Australia, heavily connected to the CIA. How do you, with your camera, never been in a country before, film it, they didn't know to take it, where 7 o'clock LA time is running all over the world? How do you know that?
Yeah, but I mean, with the King thing, it was the verdict. It wasn't the tape.
You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. See, the problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000, man, and I dare a motherfucker to talk. You went to college. You didn't talk when the professor was talking.
Okay, I apologize.
Because you bring, no, you don't have to apologize to me. I knew that when you come in here. I let you in because you'd have said New York Times, I'd have let you in. I've said anybody come in here. And normally I don't do these interviews. I do the bullshit shit you want to hear and let you leave.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening. You got me tuned in. I'm tuned in.
Okay. So what was the question you just asked?
No, my question was, like, the videotape, the existence of the videotape was the fuse, but what sparked it was the verdict.
I know that more than you.
Okay.
Huh? I know that more than you.
Okay.
What they didn't tell you, what they didn't tell you is just read what paper that is so you can hear you on the camera.
Okay.
On the side.
New York Times, May 10th, 1992.
Okay, what's the headline say?
Los Angeles police differ sharply with prosecutors on arrest totals.
Now read the first sentence.
Reflecting confusion that has characterized the city's response to violence.
Okay, now go down to where you see I got that marked.
Police officials said today...
Slow, so my grandmother's listening.
All right. Police officials said today they arrested 18,000 people from Wednesday night, April 29th, the day the riots began, through this morning, but prosecutors said that they could not account for as many as 10,000.
That's arguing, stealing. You think it was something else. These ain't black folks talking. These are cops talking. And the prosecutor talking. Now read that sentence right after that and listen what Han says.
We don't know where these people are.
Wait a minute now, this is what I say. We don't know where these people are,
said James K. Hahn, the Los Angeles city attorney.
He's the mayor now. See how the payoff comes?
It's a mystery now to a lot of people in the system right now.
Okay, that's all. That's my job.
Okay.
Huh? That's my job. And I usually don't share it with people. Because like I told you before, my mama hear the shit I be saying she called police on me. Huh? And so that's what I'm telling you now. So about 6 months ago, I'm in L.A. and Carl Nelson, who invented on the Stevie Wonder station, he invented the morning show, the biggest show in L.A., talk show. And so then he left and went to Florida. So now he's back out there celebrating the 20th anniversary of that show. So I go on Friday, just talking. I was out there for something. And he said, Dick, you be here Monday, you ought to come in. I'm interviewing Rodney King. He got a new book coming out, so you better do it quick, because he'll be dead before the week's over.
Wow.
Okay. How did I know? Because I got the information. the woman in the house where he died, his girlfriend, she was one of the jewelers when he got that $3 million kick out. Okay. And the neighbors said they heard screaming and hollering. They said, you say he just drowned. A brother who can't swim, don't put no swimming pool in his house. That's what you know. And so what I'm saying is when you know this, you can smell it. And then you see it.
Right.
And so you look at it, and then I pushed the right button. I was in, you had a brother here in Philly that had a health product. So Father Clemens came to me and said, man, you ought to be part of this. I said, no, man. There's nothing ain't. They heal anything.
Right.
So when the sniper was out there in D.C., he's one of the brother from Philly that was killed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He just went,
Ken.
huh?
Ken.
Bridges.
Ken Bridges, yes.
He just went to North Carolina to talk to the black hair product guy.
Yeah, he had a group.
Yeah.
I got the name of
Yeah.
the group, but Ken Bridges.
And so,
My Tie.
yeah, my time. So he got a $100 million bridge loan. And he was going to buy 85%. 85% of the, she was in British Columbia,
Okay.
Guyana.
Okay.
Pow, that's when he put the hit on him. Because if you look at that route, he came back. That's not the route you come back to Philly from North Carolina. You see it. Then you look at the guy, you remember the head of that whole investigation of the sniper? Was a black sheriff. Moose.
Yeah.
In D.C. Yeah, PG
No, outside, Montgomery County.
Montgomery County.
So they made the hit in Montgomery County so he could take over the whole thing. Moose, and then they eventually John Muhammad. Him and John Muhammad was in the same National Guard unit in Portland, Oregon.
Wow.
Now, the reason that's important, ain't that many Negroes in Portland, Oregon, how could you forget that? Huh? See how it works? And he was the one telling the FBI agency, just look for a white man. Everything you heard, every witness said it was a white man in a white pickup truck. They investigated 2 black folks in a raggedy car that sleep on a parking lot after they bought them some Church's chicken. They kidnapped both of them 6 months before and put them in a warehouse and let them go. We ain't heard none of them talk. None of them talk. So this is the game. When you look at the September the 11th, we're the only country that when we give you the date, we give you October the 12th, September. And so why they come up with 911? That's the emergency call. So anytime you say it, you tell your brain to be scared. That's where they are. That's how close, how much research they've done, right? So I'm in New York, September the 10th, September 11th. So I called my wife. I said, well, you got me sleeping tonight. She said, you're not. Your friend called from Paris and said, don't spend the night in New York tonight.
Wow.
I get on a train, go to D.C. I get there at 4 o'clock. I call the dude in Paris. How you know I was in New York? Punk. Said, we picked you up on the satellite, brother. So then I go walk, and I come back, and the other one then went down. I called back. He said, you owe me one, punk.
Wow.
See, this is how it works. It's a club.
Yeah.
Huh? Y'all go places, y'all see stuff, and you know when it's been spliced, and when it's not spliced, you know it's been tampered with. I do the same thing with the whole human thing. I've been out here so long and had the money to bring in the top people. I need you to look at this. Look at this. I had Steve Jack. I said, I need you to find me the #1 authority on breast milk. I sit around and look for shit to do, man. Because I had the money. #1 authority on breast milk. So he comes back and he said, it's 2 people. Oxford University, both of them's equal. I said, well, $2 million a piece. He said, and when you know they men, see how it works? The #1 authority on breast milk is a man. So I bring him in, take him to a black hospital, Flint Goodrich down in New Orleans. So they keep saying to me, why are you giving us this money to do this? What you looking for? I said, I don't know if I was looking for it. I wouldn't have you here. I don't know what I'm looking for. You think I'm that stupid? I'll pay you this money to find something that I know? What I found out, man, was mind-boggling. You got a child.
Yes.
When your wife would be nursing the baby, the other breast would leak. That's not milk. That's all impurities. If she smoked, that's nicotine. If she drank, that's alcohol. If she work in a place where people smoke, all the chemicals that's in the food, that leaks out so the baby can't get it. So we going every day to that. What you looking for? So I didn't know. So as they was leaving, I said, here's what I'm looking for. My mother's mother fed. She was the nanny for white women. You all got enough sense to know what's in milk. Milk was for humans. You don't give a kitten dog milk. Yeah. I said the #1 cause, the only cause of crib death is cow's milk. If you took cow's milk and breast milk from a woman and put it in a glass, you'd have to add 300 times more water with cow's milk to make it look like mother's milk, because the #1 important ingredient in milk is not calcium. You get more calcium eating a piece of newspaper. And so cow's milk, the #1 thing in milk is called casein. Casein makes the bone strong. So cows have enough casein to make the cow enough bone strength to deal with 1,000 pounds or more. Mother's milk, just enough for a maximum of 175 pounds. So when you drink cow's milk with that casein, it becomes glue and shuts it down, and some folk ain't there, they die in the crib, and they call it crib death. That means we don't know what caused it. That's what every nation on the planet that would never be stupid enough to give their child cow's milk, that would never had crib death. Only the countries that knew around there give cow's milk. It's crib death. So I know I just put that in my files here, but I was looking to say, because I know milk, I know more about it than you all do. I say, how long can my mama's nurse white children before y'all become niggas? That's what I'm looking for. That's all. About 15 years later, they said, thank you for what we learned. So we got back here and got a $50 million grant from the government to pursue your question. And I'm calling you now to tell you it's happened. So just listen to the white children. Watch the styles change. What used to look like you looks like me now. Listen to the music, how loud they play the music in the whole scene. 2 million people come out in the field and get some guitars. So I've been doing this. And so what I'm saying is when you sit and look at September the 11th. Them folks, they said did that, never flew a plane in their life. They said they just was, they learned how to simulate this and all that. And here's a paper here, say flight school owned by Warren Buffett that they went to.
Yes.
So he a thug and a dog and a tramp. Flight school owned by Warren Buffett.
That's right. And they only asked to learn how to fly the plane, not land it.
Yeah, you hear it?
Yes.
That's what he said. Huh? That's what he said. See, that's another trick. Why would I go? You know the guy on the plane that crashed right here by Pittsburgh? When he called his mama, you know, calling on the plane. Hey, Mom, this is Dick Brown. You never give your first and last name to your mother. See, they always mess up because they're so stupid. Hi, Mom.
You're right. No.
Richard, you gonna give your first and last name to your mother, huh? And then you look over here, and it says, flight school says FBI trained suspects prior to hijack. FBI. See here? So everybody is walking through this maze and the game. So you just look at all the papers, and then you say, okay, then I got people I can talk to.